Guys, and welcome back to the album review of PXH. Yes, it's been a while since one of these have just been released, but here we are releasing an album review, as you guys can see with the title of this video that you clicked on. Yep, here we are. Been busy, obviously, just life. And then, people not releasing albums. I guess 2020, a lot of people weren't in the recording studios. As we're about to start, check out the podcast if you guys haven't. More on that on a little bit later. And also that like button if you guys would. And comment down below what you guys thought about this album. And also subscribe if you're new here. Hit the notify bell also. Again, we're getting back to the swing of things back here on the PXH album reviews. But if not, let's obviously get into it. Into the Mystery is the eighth studio album from the South Carolina natives, otherwise known as Need to Breathe. Now, if you are a CCM listener or just anybody for Christian music, or just literally if you have ever listened to Christian music, especially just any time between now and 2010, you basically heard a Need to Breathe song. Or even if you just listen to regular radio, because they're obviously pretty popular. Need to Breathe has been like one of those interesting people. They released Out of the Body last year, and so I didn't really have a review for that one just because I listened to it and a lot of people say it was good. I listened to it just in preparation for this, just because I just didn't listen to it, just because Need to Breathe has like one of those weird reputations with, are they a Christian band or are they not a Christian band, so I have the privilege to decide of should I review this album or should I not review this album, depending on the content, For example, their Hard Love album wasn't necessarily that much of a Christian album, so Out of Body. My phone just fell. People, calm down. So, yeah, Need to Breathe has always been like one of those really interesting people to say for a Christian reviewer. Because that's what I like to say that I am. I'm a reviewer that is a Christian that likes to review Christian albums / worship albums. So why is Into the Mystery a little bit different? Well, I'll tell you why. Is because it's the content of it is just different. Okay, it's more Christian oriented, one would say, than say your Out of Body. Or even though Out of Body, I listened to it. Again, in preparation for this, I listened to it just to see if there's any similarities, because usually it's very rare for a band to do a back-to-back release, like a 2020 and then a 2021, so a year. Guys, catching up with me, okay? Very rare for that to happen, unless it's a B-side, it's a deluxe version, or it's whatever. Like, it's very rare. 2 years, okay, we see that. 3 years, that's about normal, okay? Year back to back is very, very rare. Unless, obviously, you're a worship band, it's normal to have a year-to-year, back-to-back album release. That's basically normal. Or if you're just like Maverick City Music and just release 5 albums in a year, that's also normal. A little bit of backstory on this album. Literally within weeks of Out of the Body's release, all the band members there, Seth, Josh, Randall, and Tyler, they basically went as a group bonding experience, went to a cottage or like a really, really old house in Tennessee, and they just did life together. Okay, so they just so really old house, and so that's basically where Into the Mystery really prospered from. And they were doing it for 3 weeks in the fall of 2020. So great time to record and be isolated from people, if I do say so myself, rather than going on concerts, because concerts weren't really a thing last year, unless they were virtual. But within those 3 weeks, they recorded this album, and they also recorded a documentary. And it's just called Into the Mystery. As you guys can see, that is the house, or if you see the album cover, that is the house that they are staying in. So, there's a lot of stories going on behind that, which honestly, from listening to the album, you can actually hear those type of stories. Whenever I was actually listening to the album, in the latter half, it sounded like a story coming together. It sounded like a story from most parts of the album, but really the back half has like more of a story-centered focus, one would say. As soon as the song Chances came on and all the way down, I was just like, okay, wow, this album's kind of being really picked up. A lot of people say right around that time frame for whenever you guys actually listen to the album, you'll actually see a lot of reviews that say right around this area, that middle area is whenever really the album takes place and a lot of favorite songs come on. You got Carry Me, which is featuring John Foreman. In my opinion, more and more listening to Need to Breathe and where they really shine at music-wise, Into the Mystery was definitely one of those albums that I had to review, just because it kind of went back to the roots and, in my opinion, what they're actually better at. Because with Hard Love and Out of Body, they started going into this folk pop-ish vibe, which it works with some bands, but with Need to Breathe, in my opinion, where they shine their best is right here with their folk rock type of beat, okay? I like it whenever they experiment here and there, because not all their albums actually sound the same. They both have a similar tone and a similar mindset, but not sounding the same. It's so weird that they're able to mix all these different blends of genres, because I was going back to what would this album basically kind of sound like, and almost all their albums kind of sound a little bit different. The closest one that I'd have to say would have to be, for this album, maybe closer to their Outsiders album and also the Reckoning album. Both 2 fantastic albums right there, just going back to and listening to them and then really breathing in of how amazing Need to Breathe is as a band. And I just feel that they really, really shine into their folk rock vibes. You really get that with so many songs on here. Even like their slower pace still didn't feel as slow pace. Because again, whenever you get entranced with the album, it's not their most energetic album. It's more of a reflective album, which is what I believe that they're trying to go for this album. Is more reflective and more contemplating and more just, what is life going through, or, what is the mystery either between the house that they're at and, what was their life between that and the isolation that they were into the woods, or all that other type of stuff. What was the mystery behind that? And the reason why I say that back half kind of really entranced me and really made me understand the story that was going on here is because as soon as Chances started up, there was a sense of a story happening between, and kind of a little bit earlier on, between a person that is going off to war, and his lover that is, or his wife that is back home, and then during war, the guy did not make it. It had a very, very World War I or World War II type of vibe, like I said, in Chances, where he was talking about in the bunker and all that type of stuff. But there's moments, parts of this album where there's a underlying theme of this guy that's going off into war, and then he finds love, he goes to war, he gets drafted, and then he comes back and he didn't survive. Which is kind of a very interesting storyline, which probably not where they were going at it, but it's just one of those things that I just find out very, very interesting about this album while I was listening to it. And I was just looking at the lyrics. I was like, whoa, it kind of lines up within the back half of this album. If Need to Breathe was not going for that, then they were not going for that. If they were going for that, of a kind of underlying story, then cool. Or, what they were seeing within this house. Maybe the house that they were staying at was a part of a, like, World War II, World War I era. Maybe there was the people that used to live in the house had that. I don't really know. Okay, it's just very, very interesting that, as you more listen to music and you see these lyrics that you can actually try to pick up on, like, story beats like that. I don't know, it's just one of the things I like having an album that actually has a purpose rather than just being a collection of songs, because in my opinion that's just a collection of songs. Okay, there's no purpose, there's just no substance right there. Sure, you can have that, but just have that as like a best of, okay? Sure, you can have hit after hit after hit after hit, but if you don't have that, like, foundation for, like, something that is happening, like an underlying theme, then, what's the point of an album besides producing, like, really great songs? There has to be a purpose behind something. That's just my thinking right there. For this album, honestly, you guys should just go ahead, check it out. Stream it wherever that you guys can. Just, check out this album. Either buy it, whatever you guys gotta do. Go check out this album, listen to the story behind it, or even just add a few songs to your playlist. It's between there, so just check out the album. That's what we're going to give it to. It's pretty interesting. I enjoy it. Individually, songs, I probably won't go back to it. Again, this is like an album that you have to really enjoy, to really sit down and really to reflect, okay? This is not one of those albums that you just put on and then just be like, okay. You have to really be transformed. I really enjoy albums like that, that's transforming you into a different mindset, or even, even reflecting onto who God is, because this has a very, very underlying theme of, God is, like, right there. So I really enjoy that. It's a really, really good Christian album, good CCM album, good whatever album, okay? It's even a good album. Of course, if there's nothing else, make sure you guys hit down that like button and also comment down below about this album, and also what you guys think, whether, you guys agree with my opinions or you don't. Okay, comment down below and, let me know what you guys think. Man, I really appreciate it. Unless you guys don't put what down you think, then that's okay. Because Jesus still loves you, and I still love you. So that's okay. Right there. In the heart of it all. Also, subscribe if you haven't yet subscribed. And if you have subscribed, make sure you hit that notify bell. And you also have already hit that notify bell, then guess what? Finish the rest of the video, and then go check out the podcast, and then go check out more videos of PXH, and then go check out our social medias of our Instagram, our Facebook, at PXH Culture. And go check it out. If nothing else, then go on Jesus and change the culture. Boom. Bye.